So here we are in Mezhibozh, in this incredibly beautiful old cemetery, full of really old gravestones. And then this ohel, this sanctuary that has been built for the Bal Shem Tov. The Bal Shem Tov, whoever he may have been historically, we know that he has, through spiritual imagination, just captivated the hearts and souls of so many Jews throughout the generations. And here he is.
Many of the stories that are told about him, or the letters, they're obscure, they're esoteric. That's fine. But on a broader level, the gift was to give to everybody. That this was something for everybody, and that every Jew is precious.
Now this kind of struggle to arrive at the historical Bal Shem Tov reached a moment of great euphoria when one scholar, who now an American by origin, has been working in Israel for many years, Moshe Rossman, at some point in the 80s discovered what really is the only evidence of the existence of the Bal Shem Tov that comes from a contemporary source, and even better, not Jewish.
The Bal Shem Tov, in a sense, brought this kind of element back to us, so that by re-enchanting Judaism, people who haven't seen Judaism from that perspective will be able to see it.
Before setting out for Mezhibozh, where the Bal Shem Tov lived most of his life and is buried, I decided to visit the various graves of his heirs as a kind of preparation for meeting the Bal Shem Tov himself. I first went to Uman to visit his great-grandson, the famous Rebbe Nachman of Bratslav, whose grave is one of the most visited pilgrimage sites in all of Eastern Europe. So we are here in Uman, and we are about to go into the Tzion, into Rebbe Nachman's grave here where he was buried. He spent his last few years here, and he said that people should come and see him, especially on Rosh Hashanah, and come and be with him and pray with him. And so it's a real holy pilgrimage site. Rabbi Nachman was the great-grandson of the Bal Shem Tov, and he was a very, very holy spiritual master. So I believe the way in is here.
One of the early stories that I remember being told was the Bal Shem Tov gave great respect to the Poshet Am, the simple people, people who didn't know anything at all. And it was the origin of the concept of the Hasidic nigun, the wordless chant or the wordless tune.
This is amazing. This is maybe in this very, very spot, the Bal Shem Tov and his other students would actually be leading the prayer services.
One of the early teachings I heard was we gather the four tzitzis together, the four fringes on our garments together before we say the Shema, because you have to be a whole self before you can love God. Before you can proclaim God one, you have to be one. So you take the four corners of yourself and bring them all together, and you become one, and then you can proclaim God one.
A story is told of the Bal Shem Tov that whenever great danger was threatening the Jewish community, the Bal Shem Tov would come and he would find a special secret place in the heart of the forest, and in that place he would make a fire in a prescribed and special way, and then there was a prayer.
I think that the greatest story of the Bal Shem Tov, my favorite story and everyone's favorite story, is the fact that a man lived in a town called Mezhibozh. He passed away in 250 years ago. and we're sitting here talking about him.